The original is just a little bit shorter. Hey guys, Brad here. Today we're going to talk about a screwdriver that I've been using for years, but there's a new one out now. So we're going to take a close look at it, check out the differences between the two. We are looking at Klein's new 11-in-1 impact screwdriver. Now, I've been carrying around this 11-in-1 for years, and prior to that, I was carrying around the 10-in-1. I love this screwdriver because its ability to just flip real quickly. I've never been a huge fan of the type of screwdrivers that have all the driver heads in the actual body of the screwdriver. So for me, I just really like the fast flipping, the nut drivers. They are awesome. It kind of has everything I've ever needed for a screwdriver. Now granted, the one drawback with this screwdriver is the thickness. So if you are trying to get into something quite narrow, this is not going to be the screwdriver for you. And if you're working on an electrical panel, you definitely don't want to be using this, just because it's better to use the insulated screwdrivers. So let's get into this a little bit more here. I'm going to run through all the bits on this one as well as the old model. You can see off the bat here, looking at the size difference, the original is just a little bit shorter. So keep that in mind. You know, I always carry this in my side pocket, usually my left side pocket on my Carhartts, and it never falls out. I've been really happy with it. Now the impact, that means that we can use it on one of these impact drivers, no problem. Am I going to be using a Phillips screwdriver? For me personally, no. I'm going to be using the Robertson on an impact. That's typically what we use. There are lots of bits in here, so let's take a look. We've got number 1 and number 2 on the Robertson. We've got the nut drive. We've got the Phillips bit. Pull that apart. It actually looks like that. So we've got the handle. Pull that off. We've got the 5/16. So you can see a big difference now is that we've got this ability to attach it to an impact driver. And off of that, you can then put these in and all your bits. So that's the real big difference. I'll pull this other one apart here as well so we can take a look at it. And then on the other side, we've got the slot screwdriver or blade screwdriver, whatever you want to call it. One difference with this one is we've got a Torx bit here, but inside we've got a magnet. So you can see this bit right here is different than these ones. These are double-ended. This is just single. The magnet in here is really great for when you're using screws and you need to be going on a weird angle and you don't want that screw to fall off. So that's really important. Having a magnet in here, I think, is a real nice upgrade. And then we've got the 3/8 bit. Pull that off. And then we actually have the unit itself that has the ability to drive 1/4 inch. So that's the impact driver. So I'll quickly pull this one apart. We all have it. We all know what is in this one. This one's actually been sitting outside a little bit, so it got a bit rusty on me. But you can see these are all double-sided bits. There's no magnet inside of any of these 1/4 inch drivers. And then we've got the 2 nut drives on that side and we're good to go. So a big difference on the bits is just the fact that this one T25 bit right here isn't double-ended, and that's because of the magnet inside of the shaft. For the nut drives, we're actually going from 1/4 inch, 5/16, 3/8, and 1/2 inch. So that's a pretty great combo. Now the 1/2 inch is actually right here. So don't forget this can actually drive a nut as well. Now I don't use the 1/2 inch. I rarely use the 5/16. I'm typically using the 1/4 inch, but that's just me personally, or sometimes the 3/8. But I love the fact that I typically carry an impact with me. A lot of the times it's the Milwaukee, and it's small, it's compact, but this allows me to take this screwdriver that I'm carrying around with me all the time and use it for some serious impacting. And I use a lot of T25 screws, which is a really nice screw. Sometimes I forget a little driver or something like that. Just depends on what you're doing, but it's always good to have sort of a backup. A big difference with the old model is you cannot put this in to your impact at all. So I'll just show you a quick little setup of how you could operate this thing. You could throw in your 5/16 driver like that. You could put in this piece, and then we could throw in the Robertson number 2. That is a real common setup for me. I use Robertson screws all the time, or I could flip out and do the T25 bit. So we put this guy in, that guy in there, T25. That is also another real common setup for me. I love GRK screws, and they're always T25 heads. So that's a real common bit for me. Obviously, if you strip these out, you can buy more impact bits. They are standard size bits. The only ones that are special to Klein are the ones with the little ball bearings in there, and that's how they fit in and stay in. So overall, I love this tool. I think it's great. I love Klein. I've got all kinds of other drivers. I've got the bigger ones like this. This is just a solid nut driver multi-tool. That's really nice. I love the color coding that they put on everything. This is the other impact version with all the nut drives in it. And then of course we got to have a stubby, which I love because you can just extend it out, and you could use this on an impact driver as well. So Klein is just really impressive with all their different tools. I love the ability, like I said earlier, to be able to flip around and use my bits like that as opposed to pulling them out of the head. And just having an 11-in-1 that's impact ready is making it just a little bit more versatile for me and for other guys, obviously. So I think it's a real plus. I love this thing. So the verdict of this little review, new versus old, I really like the new version. It gives you the ability to put it into an impact or a drill for that matter. So I think that's a huge plus. It's awesome that we can just use these as a hand driver or using it on a tool, as opposed to the old one where it was just strictly for the hand. Now, I'm not going to throw this thing out. Obviously, I have a bunch of them, so I'll still use it. But I think this one is going to be my new go-to carry around every day when I'm doing renovations. If you have any questions, please leave some comments down below. Make sure you subscribe, hit that notify bell, give me a thumbs up if you're liking the video. Until next time, keep on crushing it, and we'll catch you later.